You folks are going to be doing this in a partnership for class. You are going to be essentially given a theme, okay, an art history theme. And then you guys are going to basically work on finding some paintings that belong in that theme. And then you're going to tell me why you think they belong in that theme. And you can talk about form, you can talk about content, you can talk about context, you can even talk about function. Anything that helps convince me that those paintings belong in the theme, okay? So let's take this one, for example. And there are a lot of themes in art history, but let's just pick urban experience, okay? So if you're going to have an urban experience, and you're going to have an experience living in the city. So what does that look like? Well, here's a picture of a city. So that's the first thing you've got to do. You've got to find a picture of a city. And then you've got to look at it with your partner and say, how does this make me feel about this city? I feel like I might need one of those masks because there's so much smoke here. It looks like the start of pollution to me. The painting was done in the late 19th century by Claude Monet. That's a little bit of history, right? A little bit of context. And upon researching the painting, you would find out that the Industrial Revolution has occurred, and that's why you see images of steam trains. And if you continue the investigation into this painting, you'll find out that Paris was a hustling and bustling place in the late 19th century. And that the city got really hot in the summer, and people were very interested in hopping on trains and taking off to the coasts where it was cooler. In France. And I feel like I need to escape the heat of Paris when I look at this. Not just the heat, but the smoke. I'll hop one of those trains and head to the beach like the smart Parisians in the summertime. And how does Monet convince me that that's what I want to do? Well, he uses a lot of warm golden hues, right? You can even see the shadow of the this like grid-like iron structure that's sort of suspended from this little shed where the train pulls in this train station. And so the blues and the golds and the oranges kind of warm this painting up and make me sort of feel the warmth and the heat and the smoke. I mean, if you've ever been in smoke, you know that's not comfortable. So you want to escape. So the painting is pretty, but then the more I think about the painting, the more I'm like, I don't think I want to be here. Right? And it is the choices that the artist makes in terms of the colors and the overall impression of this painting. He was an impressionist. That makes me want to flee and head to the ocean. Okay? All right. So that's kind of what you would want to talk about, you know? And then you'd want to find another city painting and talk about that as well. This work of art by Edward Hopper, is very different. And this painting is not part of the AP curriculum. That's because I wanted to give you urban experience as a possible theme, and I didn't want to steal all the urban paintings from the actual curriculum. But just hear me out. How does this make me feel? How does this make you feel? That's what you want to talk about with your partner, right? Like, what's the response, the audience response? And this is very different, this particular painting, than the previous one. I don't see any smoke. In fact, it's pretty clean. The brushstrokes are clean. Monet's painting is floofy. This painting is not. The edges are hard. And when I look at it, I feel kind of sad and maybe alone. And I think that's the point. I also feel a little weird looking at these people. Like they don't know I'm there. And so it's a little creepy in that way, I think. And what do you think about these folks? It's a lively crew, huh? Just kidding. We've got one man sitting by himself, probably stirring a spoon in his coffee cup. You hear the clinking of it. One guy over here is like, man, I'm tired, right? This is the soda jerk. They called them soda jerks, I believe, back in the day. It's the man who's maintaining this cafe in the wee hours of the night. or early morning, or whatever time this is. And then we've got this couple, and you notice her particularly because of the red dress, but you don't feel like there's a lot of conversation happening between the two of them. And so it's a really somber kind of mood that the artist has set, even though we have this really bright light. Um, we've got this contrast of light and then the darkness, the shadow, the street that goes behind this diner. So what does it say about city life? It can be lonely. I mean, you can be in a big city with a lot of people, and I'm assuming most of them are asleep right now, but you can be in a big city, and despite all the people around you, still feel very alone and isolated. And so I think this painting definitely evokes that kind of feeling of sadness and isolation. Okay, so you see what I did there? That's what you guys are going to be doing as well. Okay, you're going to be talking about a painting. You're going to be doing a little bit of research into that painting so that you can tell me how it relates to the theme that you pick, okay, or that I pick for you. I think I'm going to pick it for you from a hat. I'm just going to be like, this is your theme and this is your partner and you guys get to go work together, call each other, Zoom. We'll figure it out, okay? So there you go. You get it. You get it. We've already done themes. Tradition and change was a theme. Remember that? Tradition and change is something that we've already covered technically. I mean, think about it, right? Tradition and change. Hi, it's Big Me on the screen. Tradition and change, we've talked about that when it comes to Greek statues and Egyptian statues. Egyptian statues establish a tradition and then they change over to Greek ones. Right, but there are other themes, other works of art rather, that fulfill that theme of tradition and change. We'll be talking about later in the year. So that's one of the AP themes. Another one is war, which maybe you noticed that because you've already dealt with a number of pieces where the subject is a war. A war is happening, a rebellion, fighting. Okay, so this will be kind of fun. You're going to find some paintings that relate to each other somehow, and then you will make a friend in class because you're going to work together, and so then you will relate to each other, and it's all about connections. All right, bye guys.